For the Planning and Zoning Committee meeting, I detect a quorum with myself present, Councilmember Allen present, Councilmember Benedict present, Councilmember Harrell present, Councilmember Horton present, Councilmember Coopin present, Councilmember Parker present, and Councilmember Rutherford present. Thank you all for being here. There is no one signed up for the public comment period, so we will move on into the agenda for today. I will start with the consent agenda. All right, and the consent agenda numbers start in the second reading. And if there's anything that needs to be pulled off, let me know before I read the captions. The consent agenda starts with BL 2024 382, 383, 384, 385, 386, 387, and 388. Do any of those items need to be pulled off the consent agenda? All right, with no discussion, we will move forward with the captions for the consent agenda. Starting with BL 2024 382. And Gamble Parker, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan government to accept new public sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 9828 Split Log Road in Williamson County, also known as Rosebrook Section. BL 2024-383, Gamble Parker, an ordinance authorizing the Metro government to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, public fire hydrant assemblies, public water pressure reducing valve, public sanitary sewer manholes, public sanitary sewer odor control station, and easements for 5 properties located on Cane Ridge Road, also known as Parks at Cane Ridge. Phase 1B. BL 2024-384, Gamble Parker, an ordinance authorizing the Metro government to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, new public fire hydrant assemblies, new public sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for 5 properties located on Cane Ridge Road, also known as Parks at Cane Ridge, Phase 1C. BL 2024-385, Parker Gamble, an ordinance authorizing the Metro government to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assemblies, sanitary sewer manholes and easements, and the relocation of fire hydrant assembly for property located at 3400 Conviser Drive, also known as Taylor Townhomes. BL 2024-386, Toombs Gamble Parker, an ordinance authorizing the Metro government to accept new public sanitary sewer main, new public sanitary sewer manhole, and easements for 2 properties located at 2310B and 2314B 18th Avenue North, also known as 18th Avenue North Homes. BL 2024-387, Harold Gamble Parker, an ordinance authorizing the Metro government to abandon existing public stormwater drainage and detention easement rights for the specific area of property located at 2244 Hobson Pike, also known as Resurrected Church. BL 2024-382, Gamble Park, an ordinance authorizing the Metro government to accept new public sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 9828 Split Log Road in Williamson County, also known as Rosebrook Section 4A. BL 2024-383, Gamble Park, an ordinance authorizing the Metro government to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, public fire hydrant assemblies, public water pressure reducing valve, public sanitary sewer manholes, public sanitary sewer odor control station, and easements for 5 properties located on Cane Ridge Road, also known as Parks at Cane Ridge, Phase 1B. BL 2024-384, Gamble Park, an ordinance authorizing the Metro government to accept new public sanitary sewer mains, new public fire hydrant assemblies, new public sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for 5 properties located on Cane Ridge Road, also known as Parks at Cane Ridge, Phase 1C. BL 2024-385, Parker Gamble, an ordinance authorizing the Metro government to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assemblies, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements, and the relocation of fire hydrant assembly for property located at 3400 Conviser Drive, also known as Taylor Homes. BL 2024-386, Toombs Gamble Park, an ordinance authorizing the Metro government to accept new public sanitary sewer main, new public sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for 2 properties located at 2310B and 23 314B 18th Avenue North, also known as 18th Avenue North Homes. Bill 2024-387, Harold Gamble Parker, an ordinance authorizing the Metro government to abandon existing public stormwater drainage and detention easement rights for the specific area of property located at 2244 Hobson Pike, also known as Resurrected Church. And finally, BL 2024-388, Parker Gamble, an ordinance authorizing the Metro government to abandon existing public sanitary sewer main, public sanitary sewer manhole and easements, and to accept new public sanitary sewer manhole for property located at 304 Oldham Street, also known as Oldham Self-Storage. May I have a motion for the consent agenda? May I have a second? Moved and properly second. Any discussion? With no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to number 1 on our agenda, BL 2024-389 by Porterfield, an ordinance adopting the 2024-2025 through 2029-2030 capital improvements budget for the Metro government of Nashville and Davidson County as the official capital improvements budget of the Metro government of Nashville and Davidson County for fiscal year 2024 through 2025. May I have a motion? Moved and second, please. Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All right, I don't see any discussion. Okay. All right, there's a motion to approve but re-refer it back to committee. May I have a second on that? All right, any discussion on that? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 2, RS 2024-487, Horton Porterfield Gamble, a resolution to approve the First Amendment to the lease agreement between the Metro government of Nashville and Davidson County and the Metro Nashville Airport Authority for use of the property commonly known as the John C. Toon Airport for the development and construction of an aircraft hangar. May I have a motion? Moved in a second? Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on this? The sponsor is here. All right, no discussion. With no discussion, we'll move for approval. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Number 3 on our agenda, RS 2024-490 by Sepulveda, Gamble, Porterfield, and Welch, a resolution to amend RS 2022-1860, reallocating funds formerly allocated to the collective or shared equity housing to both the Strobel Center and Barnes Fund, and RS 2022-1861, reallocating funds formerly allocated to sharing housing improvements to the Barnes Fund. May I have a motion? Moved and properly seconded. Thank you. Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Councilmember Allen.
Thank you. Ms. Hubbard has been very patient to explain this to me, but if she doesn't mind doing it one more time. I have been really excited about the shared equity model, and so I just want to make sure that we're not losing that option. We're just sort of moving it from one way of implementing it to another, maybe. Or if you can just explain, if it's going through the Barnes Fund, does that still provide the same perpetual affordability that we would get through a shared equity model?
Thank you, Councilmember Allen. Ms. Hubbard, you're recognized.
Thank you. First, let me clarify, these funds are already in the Barnes Fund. Resolution 1860 already, that appropriated the shared equity, the Pathways to Homeownership Housing to Planning. Resolution 2370 moved that to the Barnes Fund last year. For the $1.2 million, that was already appropriated to the Barnes Fund through Resolution RS 2022-1862. So these are staying in the Barnes Fund. It's not new money. We just narrowly created program parameters around that, and we realized they're too narrow. So all we're asking is to open those up. We did get a shared housing or a shared equity proposal, but not enough to use the funding. So we're wanting to use that for the current funding round that we're evaluating that has some home ownership. So the Barnes Fund still in there. It's the 30-year deed restriction. Anything with shared equity will still be part of a land trust. And then the same with the 1.2 million for older adults. It's just, instead of doing shared housing improvements for older adults, we want to use it for rental housing for older adults. Still in the Barnes Fund, still the same 30-year deed restriction.
Councilmember Allen?
Thank you. I'm learning. And so, okay, so 30-year deed restriction, does the shared equity also have a 30-year deed restriction, or is that longer?
For the Barnes Fund, for purpose of monitoring, we put a 30-year programmatic restrictive covenant on. But a shared equity model with a land trust means the dirt's controlled in perpetuity by the nonprofit to be recycled for further affordable homeownership opportunities.
Gotcha. So can we talk about what happens to these Barnes Fund at the end of 30 years?
At the 30 years, it's the, especially for multifamily, that would be the older adults. That's the end of a really useful life of a building, so it would need to be rehabbed or something like that. So the deed restriction would fall off. They would need to come in for some other type of funding, probably tax credit, maybe another Barnes Fund around where we could re-up the affordability restriction. For the shared equity or anything that has a land trust under it, that would still circulate under the shared equity model.
Gotcha. Okay. I just, the longer we can make these things stay off the market, it just seems like we don't, we put our funds into this, and I would love for it to be forever whenever possible. But I understand y'all did everything you could to.
Absolutely. And the home ownership is still 30 years as well. Even on a resale, if somebody wants to sell in 5 years, it has to be sold at a price point affordable to someone at 80% of the area median income.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Allen. And just to follow up to that, the funds that are being reallocated for use for the Strobel Center, can you talk about that, how it would be used in that way?
I would prefer to have the Office of Homeless Services or Finance discuss that, because that was a proposal from Office of Homeless Services.
Okay. Thank you. And I don't see anyone in the audience from Homeless Services, but maybe we can get that information and share that with the committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We are, with no further discussion, are we ready for a vote? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on to number 4 on our agenda, RS 2024-512 by Kimbrough, Porterfield, Gamble, and Parker, a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between the State of Tennessee, Department of Transportation, and the Metro Government of Nashville and Davidson County by and through the Nashville Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure for the maintenance and operation of traffic safety improvements installed by TDOT on State Route 12 at Old Hickory Boulevard. May I have a motion? And a second? Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All right. With no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on to number 5, BL 2024-377, Cooper, Porterfield, and Gamble, an ordinance approving a lease agreement between the Metro Government of Nashville and Davidson County and Trimac 401 Church Property Owner, LLC, for office space at 401 Church Street, Nashville, Tennessee. May I have a motion? Moved and properly seconded. Thank you. Any discussion? Oh, Councilmember Allen.
Thank you. What department's going to be using this?
Good question. And Director Darby will respond.
The Community Review Board will be utilizing this space.
Any further questions? With no further discussion, we're ready for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. And I think that's it. Is that it? Okay. That's it. That's all we have on our agenda. I will say that you should have received in your email boxes today an email from Director Lucy Kemp about the housing and infrastructure study that this council approved by resolution. The email just describes what the scope of work will be and the timeline for completion. And we'll have someone here from Planning Department at our next committee meeting to describe that or answer any questions that you all may have. With that, we are adjourned. Thank you.